Hey, this is Byron, and today we're going to go on Zillow and kind of take a look at some of the properties that I've shown this week, some of the properties that are new this week, some that have sold, and discuss kind of the market trends in this area. You know, White Sulphur, Lewisburg, Ronceverte, and Alderson. That's kind of where I do most of my selling. So we'll go to my saved searches here, and we'll do this every week. Kind of just give you guys a recap of what's going on in this area. But we'll start out way down here and outside of Gap Mills, and I just think this is interesting. I get like 5 calls about this house every week. Not who knows how many my teammates have gotten, but everybody kind of wants this because people from out of town see it, and they see it's 6 acres. They see it's a decent sized house. It's got a pond, and it's backed up to the national forest, so no one's going to build back there, and there's plenty of land to hike and do whatever you want. And this is a great house. There are some drawbacks to it I've found after touring it a few times with people, and one is that 6 acres is deceiving. It's not a rectangle or square 6 acres. It's a very narrow strip that is not a lot of it's usable. The other thing, the upstairs where the 2 bedrooms are, they're great. They're open to each other. They're a bit small. The roof's kind of small. But other than that, it's a great place. I had a person from Florida see it, and they said they were going to drive up the next day to take a look at it. 14 hours in the car because they wanted this place, and that's who's been asking about this property. Because if you know this area, um, there's not much else. There's no local grocery store down there. You gotta drive a ways to get to the Kroger or to Union. And the other thing is there's no cell service in a lot of places down there. But it's still a great house. I'm sure I'll get many more calls about that house. We'll move into White Sulphur, and we'll kind of go west from there. This house right here, I haven't seen it, but it just sold. Um, sold for It took one day. It was on the market one day, and then somebody made an offer. And then, of course, things don't close right away. You got to get the inspection, the appraisal, get the loan done, get with the lawyers. But it was priced right, obviously. And I think the reason it was priced right is it's got a massive garage there. You can see. It was. I think. Let me see. It's 13, almost 1,400 square feet. Went for 230,000. So it's $90 a square foot, which is a bit high on the high end for White Sulphur, but um, it's new. So I think $190 square foot for something that looks pretty brand new is reasonable, um, and it's in a good location. This is a good area. You can walk downtown into White Sulphur. Um, let's see what else we got here. Okay, I've showed this house many times. It's the Wiley house. I think it's one of the oldest houses in um, White Sulphur, if not the oldest. It's how many square feet is it? 4,700 square feet. It's $480,000 now. I think the price is coming down to 430 shortly. We have this listed. It's been on the market for over a year, and things that are selling normally get an offer within 20, 30 days. If they're priced right, that's when it should happen. If you price it a bit too high, you're waiting for that one buyer that might live in Kansas and hasn't seen it yet. So the coolest thing about this, I mean, it's all been redone. It's beautiful. You could Airbnb this place. I feel like you could bed and breakfast it. It could be a venue for weddings, but it's got a log cabin in the back, which I think was from 1770, and it's cozy and cute in there. And anybody who's in real estate knows if you have a log cabin and you're trying to rent it, they rent fast. I lived in a log cabin, and I mean, people always were coming up asking if they could rent it. Um, and we'll take a look at this place. This place is, um, what is this place? This is, price reduction. Yeah. So this was at 339,000, and it today I think it came down to, I think they've moved it slowly down, but it's at 245. I haven't seen it. Why is it that low? I don't know. It's 2,400 square feet, and now they're asking 245,000. So they're asking about $100 a square foot. In White Sulphur, that seems reasonable to me. It also says it might need a little work, but it is in a great location. I mean, you're right here next to the park. The park has a pool, has a workout facility. You can walk downtown easily. I mean, it's a great location. I don't know why it isn't sold, but now that it's at 245, I would not doubt that it would sell pretty quickly. Um, yeah, you're looking, if you kind of take a look at the properties available in these three cities we're kind of covering, you'll notice the inventory is way down and it's at record lows, meaning there's no one's wanting to sell. And my friend Dustin, who works up in Charleston as a lender, said they're at a 27-year low for mortgages. And he attributes it to, which I'm sure he's correct, that if you had a 3% mortgage that you got 2, 3, 4 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, why would you want to sell your house and not have to go get a 7, 8% mortgage, which is what they're running right now? So that makes sense to me. Inventory is way low, and we have lots of people from out of town wanting to come here. So prices are remaining somewhat high. So in Lewisburg, I want to take a look at this one property. This is new to the market, just came on the market maybe yesterday, 3,000 square feet. It's in Crowfield, and it looks great. So 3,000 square feet at $350,000, that's just above $100 a square foot. So it is priced right. Stuff in Lewisburg that has been selling the last 3 months has been selling for $140 a square foot. And most of the stuff in Lewisburg, people are asking $170 a square foot. Trying to sell it for $170. I think it's coming down to $140. This thing is priced to sell, in my opinion. And it's a 15-minute walk from downtown. Maybe a little quicker if you walk fast. It's in a good location. Lewisburg's a hot place to live right now. We'll shoot down to Roncevert as we go west. And there's just one place I wanted to talk about there. I showed this property the other day. Great property. Let's see what it was. It's 2,000 square feet, selling for $239,000. That seems reasonable. $115 a square foot maybe. A bit higher than what things are selling for. It's been on the market 81 days, so I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down a little bit more. As I said, things that haven't gone under contract in 20, 30 days are probably priced wrong for some reason. And what might be the reason here, which is that you see this fence. Behind that fence is the railroad. And I've lived near some railroads, and it gets loud, and you can feel the house shake. But funny enough, I was there when the train came by, could barely hear it, couldn't feel it, and it was kind of cool. You're watching the coal go by. I almost was thinking you should get rid of that fence, but it's great location. Darn it, I was hoping, great location. You can't walk to the water from there probably, but 5-minute walk, you can walk around it, get to the water. 10-minute walk, you're probably at the Sportsman. That's my friend Mark Trent owns that. It's a local bar there, and they just partnered with the restaurant next door. So Roncevert is up and coming. I'm in Denver right now as we speak, and Buena Vista. That's a town on the river, and it just reminds me of Buena Vista's hopping. It's right on the river there. They've redone the river for kayaking, for paddle boarding, a lot of mountain biking. Roncevert reminds me of Buena Vista. I think it could get really cool there. And we'll finish up here in Alderson. Alderson's about a 15-minute drive from Lewisburg. There's 3 houses I wanted to quickly cover. First one is, this just came on the market, $24,000. 2,500 square feet. Obviously, it's that inexpensive because it probably needs a lot of work. Um, and the photographs probably make it look a little nicer than it is. The photographers have gotten so good with those fisheye lenses. But yeah, the great thing about this, it's right downtown. I mean, you are right there. You can walk to the water. And the city park up here, I just went there the other day, and it's cool. It's got disc golf, a bunch of baseball fields, and I can imagine it's a party when they're doing recreational baseball out there. I think the last place I want to cover is this one. Um, just showed this property 4 days ago. It's $100,000 and it's 1,700 square feet. So it's about $60 a square foot. So I was expecting to go in there and just see a very bad, interior of it, but it's ready to move in. It's great. There's three big drawbacks to it. The first is I think the floor that connects the kitchen to the living room settled, so it is angled. But when I went under the basement, they look like they've supported it, and it's not moving anymore. The two other issues are going to prevent it from getting a government loan, and that's one, outside in the property, there is a diesel tank that's been buried because I think it used to be a gas station. And so there's a tank, hasn't been remediated, but I don't think it's a big problem. The other issue why it won't get government funding is, or government loan, is there's a natural spring bubbling up in the basement, which I've never seen before, but I've heard about it in a few properties. And they have a sub pump pumping the water out. Doesn't seem to be an issue, but those two reasons it won't get qualified for government lending. You'll have to get a conventional loan, put 20% down. Anyways, no, we'll do one more quick one. I've showed this property a few times, been on the market a while. It's got almost 13 acres. It's got so much storage outside, barns, workshops. You can move into it now. It's $350,000. Here's the barns. Here's the workshops. But I mean, it's 13 acres. It's got a pond out back. Let me see if I can find that pond. It's got a pond out back somewhere. It's been fenced in. Seems like a great property to me. Hopefully it sells. But appreciate it. Tune back in next week. I'll tell you all the property I showed, anything new that came online, and keep you up to date what's going on in my neck of the woods. Take care.